Hey everyone, it is the end of June, or almost the end of June, and it's been a while since our last garden tour, and the garden looks completely different. So, I'm going to take this opportunity to take you through the garden and show you what's been going on, and I'm going to do this tour a little bit differently. There's been so much interest in my tomato video, all of my tomato videos really. In fact, almost 750,000 of you were interested, and so I'm going to do the first 80% of the garden tour in this video, and then at the end there'll be a link to a second video that's going to be a tomato update. That's pretty much the only way I could really, people who are just interested in tomatoes could find that video. And so that was really the only way I could figure out how to do this successfully. So I hope it doesn't bug you too much to click another link at the end to see the tomato portion, but we're gonna get started right now with a full vegetable garden tour that I filmed a couple of days ago. It is another cool, misty, cloudy, gloomy day here in Southern California. It does not even feel like Southern California at this point. You know, typically we have what's called June gloom, but it's gone, it's burned off by noon, and it doesn't generally mean cold weather. But this is actually the coldest, last month, May, was the coldest May on record here since 1977, meaning almost my entire lifetime, we've never seen that cold of a May. In the month of May, the average temperature did not get to 70 degrees. The entire month of May, we didn't hit 70 degrees. And that's just unheard of. So my warm season veggies are severely behind. Any area you see in the garden here that is bare looking is most likely going to be a warm season vegetable. Now fortunately, for some reason, the tomatoes are really doing well despite it. They're growing, the bushes are growing strong and healthy. There's a lot of fruit set, a lot of successfully pollinated flowers. Now some flowers have fallen off because of the cool weather before they're even have a chance to be pollinated. And I know that because I've hand pollinated just about every single one. And there's still some that have fallen off. And so that's most likely going to be a weather issue. But I will show you a tomato update. I know everyone's waiting to see the tomatoes. I'm going to get to that later in this video. And we'll start off with kind of the bad news. This first bed here is the pepper bed, or is going to be the pepper bed if they ever wake up and it ever heats up to get them to wake up. Well, the cold weather is just preventing them from growing. So they're literally just sitting here as seedlings. Not sure what's going to happen. Hopefully the weather will heat up within the next week or two. I do have some new starts indoors on heat to hopefully fill in if these don't make it. But let's not focus on that. We'll focus on some other bad news. Well, good news and bad news. These beans here actually were attacked at the same time as the peppers with slugs and caterpillars and spider mites. They do have a few aphids right now, but after 3 treatments of neem, they are pulling out of it and looking better. Over here, we've got some cucumbers. These are the national pickling cucumbers, and we do have some tiny baby, I don't think any of them have been pollinated. They're just now opening the female flowers on these. So we'll look forward to hopefully some fruit within the next few weeks. And these aren't necessarily vegetables. These are some poppies. And I've never grown poppies like this before. My wife loves peonies, and we can't grow those here in Southern California. And these in the catalog looked almost like peonies. And so they do have some buds, and so we're excited about that. And these are the papayas that I did the seeds, a seed video back in February, I think. But again, the cold weather is stunting their growth. Beets are doing well in the cool weather, really well. In fact, a lot of them need to be harvested probably. We've got some Genovese basil right here. I think it's Genovese. And some scarlet kale, which is just gorgeous. These leaves are awesome. I love the purple leaves. Now it does well in cool and warm weather, so it's doing just fine. Now if you notice some of this white stuff on the ground here, it's not garlic powder. We've actually, the aphids have been attacking these beans, and I noticed that the ants are helping them. And so this is diatomaceous earth, and it will kill ants. It actually microscopically is very, very sharp, and it gets in their, between the plates that in their, I don't know, you call it skin, whatever, and it kills them. So I put this in this, and I just leave it out here, and I just kind of sprinkle it around the base of any affected plants that have aphids. It also helps with cutworms. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that because that's a good little tip for ants, aphids, worms. Now back here we've got some sweet corn, bantam. This corn's taller than me, and it's starting to tassel, so that's exciting. And these are the sunflowers that were part of the Callie Kim Kids Garden series. And they're taller than me for sure, and this is just about to bloom. Should be showing yellow any day. All right, so here in the corner of this bed is our loofah. This is a male loofah flower. And what I'm noticing, I've never grown these before, it looks like all the males are down clustered in one little section. And then throughout the vines, you've got the female fruits attached to the female flowers, obviously. This is one right here. I love that stripe pattern. Now, I just learned, actually, several viewers, I grew this as a novelty because I saw people online making sponges out of them, and I thought they came from the ocean, actually. But several of my viewers, they said they're quite tasty when they're cooked while they're young. I actually have a viewer, Cindy, who last night she was telling me she hasn't had them for 20 years, and they're sweet and delicious when cooked at about 8 to 12 inches, sauteed, stir-fried. So I'm looking forward to trying that and see what that's like. There's quite a few on here, so I'm hoping to have plenty to, make all those sponges and try some stir-fried loofah as well. Got green and purple basil along here with some cosmos to attract the pollinators. And I've got my Roma tomatoes back here in this area, and they are determinate. These are the only determinate tomatoes I'm growing. I'm not really pruning them, except maybe on the edges to kind of keep them in shape. I'm gonna run some twine around here just to hold them all in and upright. And we're not gonna be pinching any branches off on these either. Now, these beans did not get attacked by anything, and look at the difference. Gorgeous. I've never had a tower of beans that looked this good, I don't think. Scarlet runner beans are my favorite because of the way they grow. They are perennial, the beautiful flowers, and the lacy appearance of how the leaves are kind of just stacked. And we do have some little beans here, little baby beans. I love seeing them, they're so cute. Now the peppers that are actually working here are the ones that I accidentally overwintered. These are last year's peppers. These are shishito. That one's actually ripe, so I'm gonna pull that one. These are really great stir-fried or sauteed as well. And if you leave them on the plant a little longer, they get red and a little bit sweeter, but they're not hot. I've heard maybe 1 out of like 10 or something might be spicy, but I haven't had one yet, and we had a lot last year. I have some purple globe onions here on this side, or red globe onions. This is the first year having these beds here, and I hadn't anticipated the shade that was going to be in this area. The morning sun is blocked by this orange tree up here, and so they, when it passes that, it's around noon, and they've got sun for about an hour, and then they're shaded by the beans and the tomatoes. So I'm not sure what I'll get out of that. Maybe some small little onions. They're probably not going to grow to full size. I won't be planting them there next year. Now back here we've got the 2 new raspberry plants. They're doing good. And I finally cleared these out the other day. I pruned and We're about halfway through harvesting them. These are olala berries. Been in the family for years. I think I ate maybe 30 or 40 of these the other day while I was pruning them, but they're so delicious, but I was a little bit sick afterwards. But these are just, I think, one of the sweetest berries I've ever eaten. And they're heavy producers as well. Now walking over here on this side, I've got some prize head lettuce in this little barrel here, which is still, lettuce is still doing fine because of the cool weather. Usually it'd be long gone by now. And I'm doing a container herb garden over here, which I did film doing it, and I'll have that out at some point. We've got some basil in that other one and some dill. We've got spearmint here and peppermint and flat leaf parsley and holy basil here. Chives, little baby chives right here. And we've got some rosemary, thyme, and oregano in this one. All right, so now if you remember from the last tour, these are garbanzo beans. And they're growing straight up, and I've never grown these before. If anyone out there has grown them before, is this the way they grow? Are you supposed to pinch them to make them bushy? I'm not real sure what's going to happen here. I don't see any side shoots coming out. It's just straight to the sky. So let me know if you have grown these before and if you are supposed to pinch them, or if they look weird to you. I do have marigolds here along the front from seed, a little pest control that way. And then here I've got two squash plants. This one, these are Ronde Denise. They're a little round squash. Here's one that was pollinated. And they'll stay around, almost like little pumpkins, really. And then next to it, I've got Caserta. It's a zucchini type with a really cool marking pattern on it. And these are some more of the scarlet runner beans that were put in a little bit after the other ones. They did get a little bit of attack, but the beans that got attacked more were the red noodle beans and the yard long beans. So that might be a variety that's just a little more susceptible to pests. I do have some celery here and some Swiss chard. The celery's bolting. The strawberry tower, we're kind of in between harvests. So we've got a lot of baby ones on here. And then again, on the top here, more prize head lettuce. Unbelievable to have lettuce growing in full sun in Southern California in June. Don't think I've ever had that before. But I guess if we look on the bright side, that's nice. One advantage to the cooler weather. All right, now we're gonna look at some tomatoes. I know you've probably all been waiting for those. These are so healthy. I'm gonna go around the other side. That might be a little bit better of a view of the actual fruit. Nasturtiums should be gone by now too, but cool weather's keeping them around. Right under here, we've got some straight neck yellow squash. And I'm going to be growing them vertically, and I'll put a link here to a video I just did on that. I hope you enjoyed that vegetable garden tour, and if you will, just click right up here to go to a link to our tomato update to continue the tour, or I'll also have a link down in the description.